You know, if it's between kids and animals, I gotta tell you, I'm choosing dogs and cats every single time. Because seriously, if you put a dog in the laundry room because, say, maybe it just takes a shit on everything every time you leave, you come back and that dog is so fucking excited to see you. It's just laughing and laughing and laughing at you. You know, because you're its savior, right? You do that to kids and they'll tell on you. I'm Damien Dane, and this is The Sesh. Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl ring this past Sunday, making him the only quarterback in the entire league that has more Super Bowl wins than any other team in the league. And he was really triumphant over Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for the other team. Only 19 years separating those two in age. Tom Brady is 19 years older than him. And Tom Brady said he was going to come back next season and play football again, putting to bed a lot of the rumors that he was trading preparation and hard work for preparation H and a nap. And my Super Bowl party, I really thought it was going to be a lot better. People were really ticked off the whole time. They were just in this mood. And I thought it was because I had strict COVID restrictions. I made everybody wear a mask. And I took everybody's temperature as they were coming in. It dawned on me today that it might have been because all I had was a rectal thermometer. My guest today is Miss Colorado Drag Idol 2018, winner of Sable City's Drag Class 2019, as well as a working model with a notable shoot in Art Fag magazine, July 2020, and as a spokesmodel for Coco Coquette Wigs 2020 to 2021. Please welcome the irresistibly triggering Jake Revolt, also known to fans as BettiePvnk.
Okay, good.
Can you see her and can you hear me?
I can. If 2020 was a Zoom meeting.
This is it, I'm telling you.
How are you?
I am here, I am queer, and I am making it. How are you?
I'm doing well. Everybody, I'm here with BettiePvnk, also known to some of the peasants as Jake Revolt. I just asked you how you are, so let's not ask that again. You look fantastic.
Well, thank you, darling. Not too bad for, a working girl.
I have decided to go nude for this show because sex sells, and we're trying everything. So everybody is, I've been talking to people for the last couple of days, letting them know that I was going to be interviewing you, and you have, a really strong and solid fan base. You have some really devoted peeps. What inspires your looks? Everybody wants to know this.
I mean, honestly, it just comes from walking down the street to childhood trauma.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, anything from fashion to horror movies to just the littlest things that go bump in the night that terrify you or inspire you or turn you on. I always tell people that BettiePvnk is essentially like an undead cabaret burlesque performer. She's either going to piss you off, turn you on, or make you cry.
Yeah. That's perfect. So, so when you're putting together a look, does it come from like looking around and then being inspired by a certain object, or is it an idea that's in your head and then you find the objects to create what it is that you're seeing in your mind?
I mean, it kind of depends on the day, really, but a lot of the time, so actually during quarantine, I did something I did a project working with other artists called Great Minds Don't Think Alike. Sorry, that's what it was. Oh. And essentially it was that. I would go and have them pick one object, one thing in the world, could be anything, find a photo of it, we both look at this photo, and then we create an entire look and do a photo shoot based off of that photo, and then compare and contrast exactly the differences and how the human psyche will look at something and transform it. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so I've always done that. That's always been my approach to art in general. It's like, take this concept, completely deconstruct it. And in your world, how would that translate?
Okay, a lot of people are going to hear that and see the Gaga 911 video in their mind, and how
that's a very good representation right there. Exactly. That's essentially how my mind looks.
Yeah, I've seen how, you know, and you've evolved so much over the last couple of years, because one of your first shows was Slay It Forward, right?
Yes, Slay It Forward. God, that was forever ago. I'm like,
I know. I'm gonna pull up some photos from that.
Yeah,
So
right.
a lot of people are gonna, and you started out doing pretty much a like a pinup girl type, and then it sort of evolved into the more demonic world.
The hell spawn that you see before you. No,
Right.
So my drag started off originally. I was working in the fashion circuit. I was working as an intern, and then as a paid intern eventually for the Fashion Week Corporation. And I would just wear makeup. I've worn makeup as a boy since I was 14. Mm-hmm. And you know, I was the only photographer sitting there in a full beat. And then eventually they started getting noticed by some of the designers, and they wanted me to like walk the red carpet in their designs and my looks. And then I would go and hurry and change into my blacks and then go back and shoot. So that's kind of where my drag started. And whenever I finally got to the actual performance aspect of drag, and I was looking around, all I saw were, you know, pretty performers. Like everybody wanted to be that pretty girl, pretty this, pretty that. So I felt like I felt like I had to be in this mold of pretty. So it's like, okay, what's my style of pretty? Hence Bettie. Bettie Page is obviously the biggest inspiration behind that part, but also the like 1940s, 50s term of whenever a girl's a Bettie, she's a fast girl. She's you know, she's the bad girl. She's the girl that you don't take home to mom.
She's a loose woman.
Yes, honey. So I really dug hard into that pinup vibe, and then I just started getting more and more creative with it. I was like, okay, everybody sees this. I'm not standing out. And I was like, what if I started incorporating my actual, like my painting style, like my studio art style, very surrealistic. To
make it more you.
Exactly. And so I started coming out with looks that were more inspired by things like Picasso or Basquiat, and and like, you know, lots of color, but like it was just off. You know, it was always just off.
Distressed is the word I like to use, especially with Basquiat.
Yes. And then one day it just clicked. I was like, all these things that you always think about, like I would watch or listen to music, and I would create music videos in my head, like of how like I would do it and things like that. And I was like, you can actually do that. Like, why don't you start transforming your actual body into these things that you think about? And thus Bettie was really born. I think it was during Rising Star at Club Q in Colorado Springs. About halfway through is whenever I made that realization. And then I got to turn one of my favorite looks I've ever done in my life. It was all black electrical tape cut into little squares. And I
people are seeing it right now. We're showing it right now.
And each individual square was like rhinestoned, and I was completely naked on the stage, but I was this whole like deity figure, and it was a turning point in my drag. And then after that, there were no bounds of what like I thought I could do or get away with in drag. I was like, you know, to hell with what everybody else wants to see. You're about to get Bettie.
Wow, that's such a really triumphant story. I love that. When a lot of people will see the blood and, you know, the disfiguration and, you know, and the horror side of it, and, you know, question it. And yeah, right. the horrible whore. and the tortured expressions and such. Can you talk about that and explain it for people that might be like, why?
So there are people in your life that are going to be people that uplift you. There's going to be so many people that want you to see the good in everything, see this and see that. I'm the flip side of that coin. I'm the person that makes you remember the shit, that makes you remember the trauma, makes you remember the horrible things that you might have gone through, but since have overcome.
Right.
You've moved past this. And a lot of what you see in my work is a representation of the trauma that I've gone through extensively, especially in my earlier childhood and things to that matter. And my way of coping with it was to bring it forward. And I didn't realize that, again, until that transformative moment in my drag career. Because for the longest time, I would only see people as monsters. Because of the things that I went through growing up, I only saw everyone that I would meet as the worst possible form of themselves. And once I learned to accept people again and like learned to start trusting people again, I never went through and like faced everything myself internally. And I think that whenever I stopped caring about the drag mold, I guess I should say, and started doing my own thing, I would pull from that, and I would realize that so many people would relate to that because so many people have gone through something similar. They just won't talk about it. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to showcase that weakness, that vulnerability, that hurt. And whenever you translate that into a piece of art, I find that sometimes that will help people more than someone telling them to be positive. If that makes sense.
Really insightful. I mean, and it's such a really beautiful way to use art and your own vulnerability and, in my opinion, generosity with your, your emotions and your past. I mean, to share that in an artistic way is that's how you get remembered, girl. That's how you get remembered. It really is. It's such a raw and beautiful way to be artistic, and I appreciate that as a fan. What the hell do you do? Because your looks just look expensive. You look like an expensive bitch. So what do you do during the pandemic to keep afloat?
I mean, she's a woman of many facets. I do have my degrees in marketing and in graphic design. So I do work as I do work utilizing those traits and have, my clients and things. She happens to be a hot boy also, and people want to see me naked a lot. So I do have Onlyfans as well that has actually begun to really kick off, and it's so much fun. Let me just tell you, Bettie might be a sexual being, but Jake is much more so. And it's really fun to make friends in this adult entertainment field, and the way you go about producing content, it's very similar in a way to what I do as a drag queen. Just, you're creating this character, you're creating these scenarios, you're creating these environments and shooting them in hopes that people like what you're seeing or what they're seeing. And it's become a new fascination of mine. So that one's my OnlyFans is kicking off definitely very well. And then, I find ways to make money. I don't know. I find ways to get things for Bettie, or I make them myself also. I have a team of amazing friends that are extremely talented in every department of, what I feel like falls into an art crew. I have my designer friends. I have my friends that are amazing with hair. I have my friends that are amazing with makeup or, set design, things to that matter. And if I'm ever stumped, I know I can call on them. And so it is true what they say. It takes a village to make a queen.
No shit. It's true. It's definitely true. I mean, and when you have that, the list of people that you want to, thank every show or every video or something.
Down the road, down the street, to the bank.
It is. It's very true. Very true. What message do you have for people that are inspired by you?
Be yourself. Just do what. I mean, at the end of the day, don't apologize for who you are. I spent too long. I've gone through too many things. And this is just a recent development in myself. Don't apologize for the things that someone else thinks that is wrong with you. It's okay to strive to want more. It's okay to want to be, it's okay to be a sexual being. It's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay to live out in the open and freely. It's okay. Do what you want to do. It's your life. And if anyone tells you or tries to control you in that aspect, they're not a fan, they're not a friend, and they're definitely not someone you want in your life. Don't put any negativity out in the world that you don't want back on you.
Permission to know oneself and to experience life as oneself is a great thing to give, and I'm sure that everyone thanks you for that. I thank you for being here. I hope you'll come back and the weeks to come, and we'll catch up, see how she's doing.
Got some fun projects coming out, so you guys keep an eye out. There's a lot more Bettie coming your way.
Perfect. Can't wait to see you again. Bye, love.
Bye, sweetheart. Mwah.
Thank you so much to BettiePvnk. We will update you on Bettie as often as possible. And hey, if you want to send Bettie some money, here's the Cashapp right now. Here's the Onlyfans as well. And here's a couple of reasons why you should check out the Onlyfans. Can't get in trouble for that, can I? Thanks for coming back to the sesh, everybody. And hey, remember, if you happen to buy nipple clamps for your lover to, spruce up the relationship for the Valentine's Day, you can refer to them as spark plugs. Thanks for coming back to the sesh. I'm Damien Dane. We'll see you next time. Fear not. Love forth.